Well, today we have some great news to share about UAE, at least for a certain class of business people. I was talking to a client recently who recently relocated his business here and got a residency and all these sorts of things. And he commented that he was like, it's just getting better and better. And this is true. So today we're going to share with you some good news for people in certain types of businesses. Anyway, hopefully it's helpful for you. Certainly it is useful. And so we're going to dive into it. Before we do that, if you haven't already, please subscribe. Really appreciate it. Hit the notification bell. Make sure you don't miss out on any of our future videos. Go back and check out some of our other ones if you have the chance. Lots of great content there for you, hopefully. And if you're interested in help with international structuring for yourself, asset protection, tax planning, forming companies, opening bank accounts, getting residencies, citizenships, etc., please reach out to me. You can book a call, calendly.com/Michael Rosmer, or Michael-Rosmer, sorry, link in the description below. Or you can check out our websites, offshorecitizen.net, offshorecapitalist.com, and you can send us a message through there. Okay, so what is the news? The news is that Stripe is supporting UAE. So what is Stripe? For those of you who don't know, it is a payment processor. It is, look, if you have an opportunity where you can use Stripe, Stripe's just great, okay? Payment processing, terrible industry. I'll go on a little bit of a rant for you guys just to illustrate this point. So we help people set up payment processing for their businesses. Often this means high risk. It's usually when somebody's dealing with us, it's because there's some tricky situation that they need to work through, as opposed to just, hey, listen, I can go and sign up with Stripe or PayPal. The industry is so antiquated and ridiculous, it is unbelievable. For example, a bunch of these places, these banks will say, hey, listen, we need you to send in a void check as part of this process. And you're like, what? Void check? Who has checks? And they'll be like, well, we've been doing it this way for 30 years. I don't know why we should change it now. It's like, what? Are you kidding me? So this is like the insanity, the derangement in the world. I'm a big believer that institutions broadly are deranged. Not exactly sure why it is that they're deranged, but they're deranged. I'm going to give you an example. So Stripe was started around 2010-ish, I think. In that time, they have gone from nothing to $25 billion valuation. It's probably higher than that now. Now, all sorts of these businesses, okay, I deal with all kinds of them in Asia, in Europe, in the US, in Canada, in Latin America, all kinds of these payment processors. A bunch of these guys have been in business for 20, 30 years. All of them should have been Stripe, okay? Like if you just think about this, if you were in this business and you had the opportunity to go and to build a $25 billion business in 10 years, you're insane not to do this. It's just totally unfathomable that it's like, hey, well, no, like I didn't want to, come on. So nobody did it, right? They all went, so onboarding is super hard with these guys. It's like, hey, listen, we have to go through 30 hours of manual work in order to onboard somebody, and so we don't want to accept small businesses, and we're in a situation where, we're concerned about the risk, and we have to it takes you a month or 2 months to get all the paperwork together and go through the compliance and all this. Stripe came along and you could just sign up in 15 minutes and start accepting payments. Tightened up a little bit since then, but it's a remarkably easier process than all of this nonsense. And I can tell you, I have conversations with these guys, and I'm like, guys, this is ridiculous. We should be like Stripe. Let's just make it quick. Let's make it easy. And it's like talking to a brick wall. It's a terrible process. You get nowhere, okay? Ridiculous that they should be like that, but that is the case, okay? So anyone who's been in this game understands, yes, there are problems with Stripe, right? Stripe is selective on the industries that they work with, right? They certainly could shut your account down for a variety of different things. They certainly aren't tolerant of high chargeback rates, et cetera, right? But there are issues with Stripe. Stripe is a far from perfect service. But for me, the biggest thing was, when Stripe came out, for a lot of people, they weren't in a place where you could get really low tax. Now, of course, you could have US LLCs, possibly, if you were outside of the US. You could maybe get UK LLPs in the right place. More recently, they started working with Malta, Cyprus. Okay, you're getting some places that are good. But now they are in, and Hong Kong, that was kind of another, so they've gradually, Stripe is just continually improving. Stripe's a great business. And now they have come to UAE. So the big cosmopolitan zero tax center now supports Stripe, which is a wonderful, wonderful thing. So, anyone who's interested in setting up a business in UAE potentially can have this. I don't know how hard it is to get accepted. I can tell you from personal experience, anecdotally working with clients, that the compliance and rigor, the challenges of getting approved in Bulgaria, since they came to Bulgaria recently, is much harder than, say, getting approved in the US. So it might be the same in UAE. We'll have to see what their risk profile is. But that being said, it's just great to be able to have that service. I think it's really wonderful. And it just kind of shows me the direction of progress that UAE is getting in terms of basically kind of the whole financial services, financial infrastructure for businesses that's going to make it way more attractive to have UAE companies. So anyway, it's a little bit of rant, a little bit of an update on news. I hope it helps you guys. And yeah, I'm going to look forward to seeing you guys on the next video. If you have comments or feedback, please put them below. If you have videos or content you'd like me to create, please put it below. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and I'm going to look forward to seeing you guys on the next video.